The first video of 2021. Guys, I am so excited heading into this new year. It's no surprise. Listen, 2020 was an incredible journey for myself, for the Bad Bear brand, for everything that's been going on. And at the bottom of it, you guys, I have to tell you, thank you. In 1 year, we gained over 100,000 followers out on TikTok. We gained close to 1.5 thousand followers on Instagram. Over 500 followers out on Twitter, and we're almost to 1,500 subscribers out on YouTube. But that dwarfs in comparison to what's been going on Twitch. We're so close to making our push to partner. 2,000 plus subscribers almost every single month, and we've built an incredible community that cannot be matched inside of this industry. And at the base of everything, guys, at the core of everything is you. It's the Bear Gang. And I know that. And without you guys, none of this would be possible. So to start this video, I have to say thank you. You guys have been incredible. The amount of love and support you guys have shown me has been far more than I deserve and way more than I ever expected. I've said it from day one, but I am nothing more than an average dude on an above average journey. And you guys are what makes this tick. You guys are the heartbeat to this whole machine. And I have to say thank you. But to start the new year, what I wanted to do was do the video that I've been saying I need to do forever. Because inside of our community, I've had more and more people asking to see my tech setup, specifically around my SLOBS, aka StreamLabs OBS, and how everything inside of it is optimized, how everything is set up. What are some of the key things that you as a new content creator should be focusing on? Where should I be investing my CPU and GPU? And where are some areas that maybe aren't as important? So today on this video, we're gonna go through the whole thing. I'm gonna give you a tour of my SLOBS setup, show you what all my settings are, and hopefully you guys gain some good perspective on how you guys can set up yours to be most successful. I'm Bad Bear Gamer, and this is how I set up my StreamLabs OBS. Now, before we get started on today's video, I want to give a real quick shout out to our sponsor, longtime supporter of everything that we've done, KNOSIS Energy. You guys know I live and die by this stuff. For a long time, I was taking other competitive supplements such as G Fuel or energy drinks, and while those are good supplements, at the end of the day, what it led to was a very high jittery high, followed by a pretty immediate crash. The team over at KNOSIS reached out to me and told me there was a healthier alternative, something that they were working on as an up-and-coming company, sent me some free samples, and I immediately fell in love. Guys, this stuff has active ingredients to help with things like overall performance when you game, longer endurance for moments when you got long streams or longer gaming sessions, active key ingredients to help with things like blue light protection, which if you're in front of monitors or in front of screens constantly is something you have to be worrying about. But my all-time favorite part of this is the fact that I get unbelievable energy without a crash. If G Fuel is energy drinks, KNOSIS is the 5 Hour, a healthier alternative for energy while you're gaming. Tons of members inside of the Bear Gang have given it a shot and absolutely love it the same way that I do. If you guys want to give it a shot, you can go to gnosis.gg, use code BADBEAR at checkout to get 10% off. Make sure to tag me on social medias once you get it and you give it a shot, because I want to hear your results. Now let's get into OBS. So this is my StreamLabs OBS setup. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and put this main area in performance mode, simply just because I don't like the whole mirroring effect where it goes through and it looks like an endless tunnel. It's distracting, plus I don't wanna look at myself this entire time. I think that's also very distracting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in performance mode. But this is traditionally my general layout for StreamLabs OBS. Now the settings inside of here are going to be very similar whether you're using SLOBS, aka StreamLabs OBS, or traditional OBS and everything there. What I've found is this: the difference between StreamLabs and regular OBS, StreamLabs usually has a easier interface for new users. It's a lot more turnkey on its UI. The downside is it has some performance things that tend to make it use more CPU and GPU than its counterparts. Where OBS can run smoother, where it usually doesn't require as much CPU or GPU to run, it is a little bit less intuitive from that user interface standpoint. So you really just got to play and figure out which one you prefer. For me, I don't game on my PC. My PC is strictly for creating content, for editing, and for streaming at the highest possible output that I can. So I like SLOBS because I'm not gaming on this. I'm not putting it through any more rigorous activity. I just want to get the best output. This is the system I started on. This is the one I know. So this is where I've stayed. Would I make a change in the future if I ever go to PC gaming? Yeah, probably. But for now, this is where I am. But everything that we discuss in today's video is probably going to be very relatable to its counterpart. Just know that if you're using OBS, you're still going to be able to pick up some good intel from this video. So in my general settings, this is exactly what my layout would be. I'd have my preview right here, my mini feed right here of updated bits, updated followers, updated subscribers or gifted subs, all of that great intel. My scenes are all down here, the sources inside of each scene, and then the mixer for the audio with my chat on the side. Now, quick disclaimer before we jump into this video. I have not gone through and cleaned this up. Since day one, I have been changing scenes, editing scenes. There's still pieces in here that are almost like a junk drawer, things that are part of this that I never use anymore, that we're not necessarily going to hit on today, but I also didn't want to go through and clean this up and try to make this as professional for you as possible, right? What I wanted it to be was as real for you so you could see the actual setup that I have. And so we're going to go through kind of what those components are. I can show you some of those older stuff so you can see like what my older scenes used to look like versus the one we've created today. But where's the best place to start is probably going to be in the settings, because I think that's going to be what's most important and what you guys are most interested in from a maximization outpoint of stream quality. Now, when you click on the settings, this is what's going to pop up. You have all of your various tabs on the left and then obviously all the data on the right. Most of this stuff I really didn't tweak too much. It's still at its default status. But some of these, specifically when we get into the output, the audio, and the video settings, are going to be things that definitely have been tweaked, and I'll tell you kind of what's most important. General, I really didn't touch anything here. This is all probably exactly how it would be if you downloaded it today. But let's go ahead. Stream is just if you're linking your various accounts where you're going to link. But let's go ahead and go to the output, because this is going to be, again, what I think is most important. So on here, the thing that is the biggest contributor when you're streaming to quality is not your resolution rate, right? Going from 720 to 1080 or trying to max out in 4K. That's not it. It's not your frames per second, right? How quickly are your frames refreshing? While both of those are critically important, the thing that's at the top of the mountain and the thing that you need to know is your bit rate. This little buddy right here. Now, bitrate can range anywhere from 0 to, on these types of platforms, it maxes out at about 6,000. But this is the amount of bits per output that it is computing and pushing back through the capture card out to the stream. So your typical stream is going to be at about 2,000 to 2,500 on its bitrate. That's going to be where its default setting is. You'll see I have mine absolutely maxed out at 6,000. When I built this PC, that was priority number one for me, is to create the highest maximum output I could, maxing out my bitrate above all else. And when I changed this, this was the thing that immediately everybody who was watching my stream said, holy cow, how does this look so good? It's because my bitrate is maxed out. Here's what you need to know. When your bitrate goes up, you need to be paying attention to two things that could dramatically impact your stream. Number one is your PC processing power. As your bitrate goes up, it's using more CPU and GPU to compress that and send it out. It's a higher quality presentation. This makes sense. The second thing that a lot of people don't consider is now your internet needs to take all of that and send it seamlessly out to the stream, which means that you need to make sure that your upload speed on your internet can handle your output. If you are dropping frames, your bitrate is probably too high. There are calculators online that can help you A, test your internet speed, and B, then kind of compute your internet speed to figure out what kind of bit rate would be suggested. You can run some test dummies, but watch, because down here in this corner, you're gonna see your dropped frames. If that starts to climb or your computing power starts to get too high, these are things that immediately tell you, listen, I'm trying to produce too high of an output for my current settings. If I'm not able to upgrade those settings, just keep them lower, keep them at a baseline. You'll still produce a good quality product, but obviously those are things you can pay attention to down the line. If you guys are curious, my whole streaming setup, including my PC build, can be found in the description of this video. As far as my internet speed, I believe my download is at 1 gigabyte, my upload is at 250 on the megabytes. So I've had no issues whatsoever. But the other thing you also got to consider is when I made this change, I was experiencing dropped frames. I knew my internet was great. We knew the PC wasn't the issue. So where was the problem? It actually came down to the modem. The modem I was using wasn't built for the higher processing internet. I had to go out and get a new modem. You guys, just like anything in life, this thing is like a train where everything needs to be buckled together to get it to run correctly. Those are all things you need to be considering when you're increasing this. But if you're increasing your bit rate, not experiencing any dropped frames, you're gonna get a better product. Twitch does cap out bit rates at 6,000. So if you're trying to go up to 8, 10, 12,000 on your bit rate, you're just not gonna be able to get there, because obviously on their end, they have to have the servers and the computing power to process all of these various streams. They're just not able to do it. But that's the one thing that definitely is going to make a difference in your stream quality from an output perspective. So keep that in mind. My encoder is set to hardware with the NVENC new, which basically just means instead of it trying to use my CPU for all of its processing power, it actually takes a large portion of that and transitions it over to my GPU, which is a bigger chip. It can handle more of the output, and specifically because I'm not gaming on this as well, again, it helps it run smoother all in all. When I record videos like I'm recording here, it's pretty simplistic. Really, I mean, I have my recording path. I'm recording in MP4. Bitrate's still at 6,000. However, here, I know you can maximize that and put it at ridiculous numbers if you really wanted to. Preset for quality, profile high. All of these are pretty simple, but this is basically just when you're recording onto your computer, not necessarily from a streaming standpoint. But again, I do that because right now you see I am recording this as we're going through this. I do use the OBS for recording these types of videos. It becomes useful from that standpoint. The audio tracks, again, I'm pretty confident that these are all just presets, but my audio bit rate's 320. The name of the microphones here, actually, this still says Yeti, although this is now the Wave 3 by Elgato. But again, it's about 320. I'm pretty sure that's the default. You see my capture card, the Elgato HD60S Plus here, same audio bit rate. I don't have any issues with my audio quality. People always say that, you know, it sounds crisp, but that's basically where my audio is standing. Replay buffer I never really touched, but this is what it is. When I go to my audio settings, this is where you can change some of these items. So I'm outputting at 48 kilohertz per second. And then this is also where you can select your various output sources. So you'll see my desktop audio source 2 here, or what is really my microphone, is actually the browser. I'll explain why that is in a second. My mic is set up as my Elgato Wave 3. I don't have ancillary additional mics, so those aren't here. And then my desktop is obviously just my desktop. Let's talk about what this is. When I stream from my Xbox, one of the biggest challenges that I have is if I play with PC players that need to use Discord. How do I capture Discord off of my audio, off of my computer, without having it echo or double play through the game settings while I'm playing on the Xbox? Because think about this, right? I need to have the game audio from my Xbox in my earphones. I need to have the chat from my PC in my earphones. Sometimes people will take little, like earbuds and tuck them underneath and try to do it that way. Super uncomfortable, definitely a low budget solution. But what I actually did is messed with my output settings to make it so that I could have the browser set up through my Elgato software, through the SoundLink software, which I'll actually pull up here so you guys can see it. The browser here is actually set up to be my Discord. Now, obviously it's not active right now, but what this allows me to do is actually pass through my game audio when it's coming through to play through what would normally be my speakers on my PC. Then I can hook up my headphones to be through my PC. So I'm hearing my game audio through a pass through from my PC. I got my game chat, AKA the Discord, coming through the browser source here. I'm able to hear the game, able to hear my party while playing on Xbox and talking through Discord. I'll probably do a video on this in the future because it was the most complicated thing I've ever tried to do with very little resources out there, but I did find a way to do it, and that's why it's set up the way it is now. My video settings are this. The base resolution, which is the canvas, which has to do with when I'm editing things inside of OBS and moving around my scenes, what is that canvas resolution? I'm at 1080. Now, for the longest time, I've been running at 720 on my output. That would be the scaled, which means that when you pull up my stream on Twitch, it's playing at 720. Only recently did I upgrade it to 1080. Why is that? It's because when you try to go to 1080, Twitch really doesn't do a good job converting that properly. So although you're trying to push it out at 1080, it actually comes down to a lower scaled resolution. So you're not in proper 1080. So I've had multiple content creators tell me there's no reason to go up to 1080. And I 100% agree. The only reason I bumped it up to 1080 was for my YouTube editing. I wanted to be able to download a 1080 file instead of consistently downloading 720 files just for my editing process. It saves me a step in the converting. So I just only recently did that. Do not experience any more drop frames than I was before. So it's been great from that standpoint. But again, that's why it's at 1080. If you're, again, really trying to convert and run on a economic PC, you need to be converting and lowering your CPU, GPU output. Keep it at 720. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The only other thing that's really important here, there's two things. Really, I shouldn't have said the only other thing, but the downscaling filter, basically how sharp are you using? This is the setting that I have at 32. Again, this has to do with how is it downscaling the image and reprocessing it back out. Remember what's going on here every time that you stream. You are streaming from a source, whether that's your PC or your console. It's going to a capture card that is taking all of that data, all of that imagery, and compressing it down so it can be sent somewhere else and blown back up. That's a lot of computing power that's happening. That's why capture cards, my Elgato capture card, it's a computer chip. It's a computer chip specifically to do exactly what I just told you, so that there's not a chip inside my PC that has to do it. If you're doing a dual PC setup, you usually have to buy a separate capture card to help you do all these things. It's a lot of computing power. So the downscale filter is basically at what quality do you want that happening and where should its focus be? For me, I want it maxed out. As I told you, quality is my top performance. That's my top concern. So I've chosen this setting at a full 32 sample bit. It's great. It looks super crisp. If you're trying to maximize yours, this is what I recommend. The second thing that's important on here is obviously the FPS, the frames per second. I'm running at 60 FPS. Again, that's about as high as I would recommend going, because anything above that, Twitch is going to have a tough time with. Plus, you have to remember that every single time that you upgrade the quality of your stream, whether it's your bitrate, whether it's your resolution, or whether it's your FPS, the person who is viewing your content needs to have internet that can keep up with it. Yes, they have an ability to downscale, but some people don't necessarily know how to do that, even though it seems intuitive to us. The reality is some people do have a tough time with it. So it's just something that you have to consider through the grand scheme of everything. For me, again, I've been about quality from day one. So I'm 1080 right now on my resolution, 60 FPS, 6000 on my bit rate, and that has given me the absolute crispest video output from a stream that I have seen, not only on mine, but on many other people's streams as well. The rest of these are all things that you can play with. I'm not going to go through it because I really don't do anything with them. For instance, hotkeys are opportunities for you to set things on your keyboard and hotkeys to do various things. For me, I have an Elgato Stream Deck right in front of me that basically does the same thing. You don't have an Elgato Stream Deck, which is completely fine. This is a really easy solution. So you can set keys for your F keys, for specific key combinations, whatever it might be, to basically do everything that you want an Elgato like Stream Deck to do. Switch your scenes, mute your audio, end your stream, start your stream, whatever it may be, you can set up hotkeys here. Closing down the settings tab, now we have all of my scenes that are down here. My scenes are set up as such. I'm going to disable performance mode, stay with me and all the mirror echoing. I know it's annoying, but I want to show you what everything is, you guys. So here it is. Here's what normally my OBS would look like. If I go to my starting soon screen, again, if you've ever attended one of mine, you know I have an intro video before I go live. Typically, I'll go ahead and close that video. I'll shut it down. I'll go ahead and type in my go live information. I'll post on my Discord that I'm going live, post on Twitter, whatever it may be, unmute it, and then my stream's going to start. This is nothing more than just a media file. It's a 9-minute video file that goes on loop. It includes 3 different audio tracks. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down because I don't really need it here right now. And then an intro video that we've done that we created ourselves in-house that does a great job with that. That's my number one. I have my starting soon, kind of my pre-stream information and kind of warm-up stuff. This scene right here is my intermission scene, so in between games, or when I start my stream, if I'm just doing chatting stuff, whatever it may be, I really want to blow up a good sized camera. So I have an intermission screen like this that helps me do just that. When I am playing my game, this would be my normal gameplay. Back here would be my game. Obviously, I don't have my game booted up right now, but all these are various sources, which we'll go through as well, through everything, what the sources look like. I have my BRB scene right here, which again would actually normally have that same gameplay capture in the back with a little bit of a tint to it, but this is my BRB or Be Right Back scene. I do have a full camera. Hello, that cakes up the whole thing that I like to do for dramatic effect. Specifically, if I'm playing, something cool happens. Oh, snap, look at something cool, and then I could pop back. Again, my transition on all these is because my left hand right now is on top of my Elgato Stream Deck. Makes it very simple to switch between scenes. I'll do a video in the future of how my Stream Deck is set up, but these things are so turnkey to set up, it's ridiculous. And then the only other one is where we've been this whole time that captures my actual audio here, or my monitor, sorry, not my audio. All these other ones, again, are ones that have been used in the past and lost and not used anymore. Doesn't really matter. Like, I think Thirsty Thursday was an intro that I used to use for, for Thirsty Thursdays.
Yeah.
Stop, there it goes. All right, but you get the general gist of it. So that's how all the scenes are set up. Now, inside of each scene, you have your sources, which is how everything is actually aligned inside of the scene. So actually, I'm gonna go back to my gameplay one here. I'm gonna turn on my Xbox real quick so that we can get the actual capture behind, so you can get a good sense of what that looks like. So this is normally what it would look like with all my gameplay. So as I go through my sources, I have subs here, which again, I don't really use anymore. Oh, no, sorry, that I do use this. It's not what I thought it was. My total sub count, right now we have an active total sub count today of 2,333 active subs. I got my Bad Bear text script down here, which is nothing more than a graphic I created inside of After Effects that transitions my Bad Bear kind of text and font, scribbles it in and scribbles it out on a 30-second rotating basis. I got my alert box up here for when I gain new followers, new subscribers, bit donators, all that kind of stuff. My new camera layout, which is everything you see here where my camera is. October Madness, which is really just a sub goal. Right now we're doing like Thirsty Thursdays and stuff with it. So taking shots of apple juice for every 20 gifted subs. I can turn that on and off or visible and invisible as I need to. We've got our KNOSIS logo down there, as you guys know, and I talk about sponsor of the stream. We have their logo up at all times. Chat box for certain games. Specifically, when I do ones I know I'm going to use a VOD or a VOD for, meaning I'm going to pull it and put it on YouTube. I like having my chat box active so that people who aren't live on stream can see the chats as I'm responding to them. Otherwise, it looks like I'm just talking to nobody, like I'm an idiot. And then I have my capture card on the back of everything. And that's how this scene specifically is set up. Very simplistic. If I wanted to add anything, obviously you just click the plus sign. You can add whatever you're looking to add, whether that's still images, whether that's, you know, your capture cards, your media sources, so your video files, anything like that. Really anything that you're looking to add, you can kind of tinker and play around with it. I'll show you how some of that can become really useful from a setup standpoint right now. So on this scene in particular, let's go through what makes this one really unique. The outlay of this was something I built inside of After Effects. What I mean by that is this border, this little logo here, all of the text down below, like all of this is stuff I built inside of After Effects or Photoshop and converted in. The background, though, is something that is a really easy kind of high-touch thing that you can utilize inside of After Effects, or not After Effects, sorry, inside of SLOBS or anywhere pretty easily. All it is right here, you'll see I have YouTube background. It's a media file. All I did was went to YouTube, Googled motion HD copyright free, motion background HD copyright free. Looked at one that made sense given my color scheme, found it, downloaded it, know it's copyright free, so I don't have any issues there. And now I can throw it in the back, have it be a really clean, interactive background, really clean look. And again, you can tinker around and find those things. If I'm not using this, again, like if I'm playing, I just, all I did was just visibly take that away. Now I have that same capture card that's back there. Again, I can do a video in the future of how I set up my scenes and all of that kind of stuff, but that's really it. You know, I got my just chatting PNG, which is exactly what I told you. It's just that outline of that border. My Logitech camera. My script, which I don't really ever use anyways. That's why it's muted. The Bear Gang animation, which again was created inside of After Effects. The alerts. This is live. I actually didn't plan that. Chip1127 just followed me live. So that's kind of funny. The KNOSIS logo, which again, I don't have on here, but if I ever wanted to, I could throw it up pretty quickly. The sub count, which again, I don't have on here. And then that same kind of a ticker file. So it's just playing around with the various sources. You know, the alert box is a really good one to keep in mind. I'll go through kind of my alerts and how all of that's set up in just a second. You know, the chat box is good. You can set up donation goals. I mean, literally everything can be added in here. Spend the time, look through it. I can do a video in the future. If you guys are interested in that, post down in the comments that you want to see me kind of build up scenes and stuff like that from scratch. If you guys want to see me go through that. Otherwise, you can find tons of video, tons of content, just searching the web on finding everything that you're looking for. But that's basically how everything is set up from a scene standpoint. So the only other thing that I'm going to show you guys, because I think it's super valuable, let me go back to my monitor. And I'm actually going to mute this right here, but is the filters that I have set up on my audio settings. This is really the last kind of tidbit from this standpoint that I want to show you today, outside of some of the SLOB specific stuff. But if I go over to my mic in my Elgato and I click this little guy right here, you'll see I have 4 filters that are applied. What are they? I have a gain filter, which is really set at 0, so it doesn't really count, but I have a noise suppression filter, which really helps kind of cut out the amount of noise that I'm making that's coming through the mic. I have a noise gate that helps kind of channel threshold when noise should be captured. This is really important when you're doing things such as having background noise. So for me specifically, I have an English bulldog that lives down here with me. He's 86 pounds. He farts, he licks, he drinks his water bowl that's right back there. All of these can be loud things. If you go back to my earlier streams before I played with my settings, I didn't touch any of them. The mic picked up all of those sounds. Just gained another follower. The noise picks up all of those sounds, which is challenging from a stream standpoint. So this is what I did. This is where I set my thresholds. You guys can play with it as well. Test and see when your mic is picking up audio, when it isn't. But this is where I have just generically my threshold set at. And then compressor, again, kind of does the same thing, but also will reduce like my noise output. So if I get super loud, it kind of compresses that to a certain volume or a certain output. This is exactly how I've set up everything. You guys can either copy it and play with it or adjust it as need be with your microphone. Obviously, every mic is different, but these settings will help take your out-of-the-box USB mic and help it sound more like an XLR microphone. It's these settings right here. Testing out your gain, playing with that, your noise suppression, making sure that's set up, your noise gate filter, here's all the settings here, and then your compressor filter right here. These are things that, again, once you add these in, are going to really do a good job making your mic sound crisp. So the next thing that I want to show you guys is actually going to be my alert box and everything associated inside of my alert box. Because if you guys remember, whenever I get a new follower, I get those alerts. How do I set those up? They're actually really, really simple to do. Anytime you add the new source, and you have an alert box associated with it, which actually I don't on this one, but let me go to another one that I do. Actually, I'll just add it here real quick. Why don't I have one here? Wow, that's actually pretty incredible to me. I'll just add it right now. So when I add the alert box, now this pops up. Minimize it just because I don't need to see it. You double click on it and now you can edit everything inside of it. So what you can do is you can set up various alerts for your bits, your donations, your merch, all of that good stuff. So for instance, whenever I get bits, I have the scene from La La Land that plays. Whenever I merch, I don't have set up through them, so it doesn't really matter. But subscribers, I have two different settings set up. One for multiple gifted subs, one for either solo gifted subs or a new subscriber. You can basically click on whatever you're trying to edit, go over here, edit your titles, determine where you want your verbiage. So like what this says is basically the GIF or the image will play above the lines. This would put the text in the middle of the GIF. This would put them side by side. Again, what this looks like for me is very simplistic. That's the GIF that plays, is this kissy face me. And then obviously the audio file that plays along with it. You guys can edit all these. Just know that these are around 10-second loops. So if you're playing through your audios, you're getting everything associated. This is how you can edit the animations, how they fade in, the resub messages. Is there anything different for that? Gifted, your new followers, adding different medias, adding different animations, editing your text size and text font. You can add everything for your alert box right here, very simplistically. And then again, what that looks like. Where did I actually end up setting this? I'm going to blow this up real big so that we can see it here. So like my follow animation. Right there. Subscriber. Donation. And bits. Very simplistic. You can test them all down here. It's really simple. Just by clicking test widget and which one you want to test. Host. A lot of viewers. Who's going to host me for that number? Please. Let's do it. All right. So the last thing that I want to show you guys, that's how you do your alerts. That's how you set them up. If you guys are wondering, how do I create GIFs? How do I create sounds? Again, you can do all that through different programs or different systems. Otherwise, you can take stock ones off the internet. All that's easy. Just know you're looking for GIF files. You're looking for really quick audio files. I edit all of mine in-house for the most part. Some of those are GIFs from online, but the audios especially, usually I've taken and put through Adobe Audition, as I use Adobe for everything, just to cut the audio to be exactly what I want it to be. The last thing that I'm gonna show you guys is going to be my bot settings. So if you guys don't use a bot, you absolutely should. Every service comes with one, whether it's Nightbot or StreamLabs comes with CloudBot. To get to this file, all I simply did was click on this right here for CloudBot. It'll pull up the website of everything that you need here. See that CloudBot is on right here. And then here's everything that you can do from your word protection to making sure that your bot settings are set up so that it's, you know, not allowing certain words in your chat, deleting things that shouldn't be there. If you got mods that are there that are actively doing this, hooray. If you're a smaller streamer, you might not have one yet, so your CloudBot can almost act as your 24/7 mod to help moderate your chat while you're not there, as well as a plethora of other things. You can set up custom commands. Obviously, we have a ton of custom commands that we've set that when somebody types one of these, it pops up in the chat. So for instance, if I type in !Twitter, boom, it pops up the custom command that I added to get the custom Twitter link. Socials, same thing. But then you can also not only do some self-promo stuff like this, but have fun things. Like there's a member of our community named Aaron who claims she beat me in a 1v1 situation, to be determined, but as such, we play around with it. It's a joke inside of our community. !Aaron pops up that Aaron is queen of the quote 1v1. You can do fun things like this, and it's a really good way to keep your viewers engaged with everything that's going on. You can set channel points to be almost like they can create their own, so then they have a reason to stick around, earn channel points, earn their own command, do fun things like that. It really helps keep them engaged from that standpoint. And you can do all of that by just adding custom commands. And when you do that, it'll ask what you want your command to be, what you want the text to actually put. We can add one right now, just so you can kind of see how simple this is. Let's say I wanted to add !cheese. And when it happens, it says that cheese is yummy. Just like that. It's available to everyone. It can come through. You can decide whether you want it to go chat or an independent whisper. Why you might want to change that is just simply like, let's say you wanted to send your Activision ID, right, for Call of Duty Warzone. Maybe you don't want to put that in the general chat. You're not trying to blow up all your followers, but you do want them to have access to it. So you can make it so that Twitch knows it just goes to the whisper instead of posted in the general chat. Or maybe it's something more sensitive in information, something you just want your subscribers or your moderators to be able to access. You can really kind of edit all of that stuff pretty simplistically. But as soon as I click add, it's going to be there. Now if I go in here and !cheese, there it is. Cheese is yummy. The command is already built. It's that simple. And you can do that live while you're on stream and everything. I'm recording right now. Timers are kind of running ongoing commands that your bot will automatically post in there. So these are really good when you're doing things like, for instance, for me, my social promotion. Don't forget to follow Bad Bear Gamer's social platforms, which by the way, don't forget to follow me on all of my social platforms. Love you guys. But then this knows to run every 40 minutes. Line intervals is just the amount of chat required in between that time to post again. It usually doesn't matter. You can set this as low as 1, but it really doesn't matter. But then every 40 minutes, my bot's going to post that message and a link out to all of my socials. On certain streams, I'll turn on things like the subscriber queue. If we're playing with our subscribers of the channel, this allows them to know, hey, this is the command of how you can join the queue. This is how you can subscribe with Twitch Prime. This is, our KNOSIS ongoing of this is, hey, don't forget that I'm sponsored by KNOSIS. That runs once every hour. And again, then vary these, because if you set them all to 20 minutes, there's going to be a whole bunch of messages that pop up at once. So for me, the ones that are active right now are just these. So my social ones at the 40-minute mark, and every 40-minute mark after that, 30-minute mark, Twitch Prime, and then every hour on the hour. Eventually, is there going to be a perfect storm where they hit really close to each other? Absolutely. Sometimes it happens. But if you can want to space these out, that's why some of these are set to really odd numbers like 17 and 44, just because it helps clean that stuff up. I don't have any quotes. Queues are really active when you're trying to do things like subscriber queues. When we do dubs with subs night, meaning that I'm going to play with subscribers of the channel, I'll come in, I'll open up the queue, label it what it is, the queue size. Inside a chat, they put !join to join the queue, and then this allows me to kind of go in order to pull people into games or whatever. It's really, really good for stuff like that, specifically if you're doing community engagement nights. Our loyalty program has to do with our point channel inside of SLOBS. Now, Twitch has channel points associated with their channels. At the bottom, when you watch a Twitch channel, you'll see there's a little thing that is showing you accumulation of Twitch points as you go through. That's Twitch's program. It's great. Hooray. SLOBS has their own program that you can use that I actually use for all of mine because I can set up a more detailed store and detail rewards using these. So this is where you can kind of determine how points are earned. Store is where you can redeem those. So we have all of these redeems that are available. Some are active at times, some are not, all the way through earning a VIP badge to various gifts and jokes inside of it. So for instance, let's say that you wanted to redeem the van down by the river. It's !river. In chat, which actually, I'm trying to determine how I would do this. Yes, I really can't show you, but you would actually put !redeem. Oh no, it should pop up. I got my alerts there. Should pop up. !redeem river.
Now let's get started by letting me give you a little bit of a scenario of what my life is all about. First off, I am 35 years old.
See, it's just fun things that they can do. And they can spend it on various things, you know, and you can set those up to be whatever you want, all the way through maybe opportunities to play with you or edits within, you know, using different filters or whatever. There's just literally the list is endless of things that you can be doing utilizing that platform and the reward store associated with it. But you can set all of these up right here with the store, adding new gifts or adding new images, all these sounds, all that good stuff. You can do polls, active polling while you're inside of it, active betting on various things. I mean, the bot just has so much opportunity to play with and modify and all of that you can spend time going through here, setting it all up. Does it take time? Yes, but it's very, very worth it when you're talking about engagement within your community or inside your community as you continue to grow. Well, guys, that's everything that I was going to show you. Hopefully you learned a lot about the output of my SLOBS, how everything is set up. Again, if there's anything I missed or anything that you're interested in seeing, make sure to comment down on this video or make sure to comment any video topics you want to see in the future. 2021, my main goal is to produce more of this type of content for you guys to be learning from, to help you to continue to grow along your journeys. So if there's anything specific that I could help you with, make sure to comment it and we'll see if we can get a video done in the future utilizing those topics. Also, a great way to help support this channel is to follow me on the various social medias that I present in. I'm out on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, here on YouTube, and then I am live on Twitch about 3 to 5 days every single week. You'll find links to absolutely everything in the description of this video. Again, a really good way to help me continue to stay in touch with you and share with you guys more about what's going on and the various things that we have going on over here at Bad Bear Gaming. Also, if you got some good information out of this, make sure to subscribe to this video. Click the little bell and you'll be notified anytime we upload new videos in the future, staying engaged with everything that we got going on. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and until next time, guys, happy gaming.